Hello, everyone. Today's article is titled Madagascar's Youth Demand Change. It tells the story of how young citizens in Madagascar turned frustration over daily hardships into a national call for fairness and opportunity. Their protests began with anger about power cuts and water shortages, but soon grew into a movement demanding justice and equality. Let's pause for a moment before we move into the article. We'll watch a short clip related to today's topic. As you watch, think about what ideas or questions it brings to mind.
I'm fed up, and so are all the Malagasy people, with power cuts, water cuts, and above all, the confiscation of rights and power in the hands of a certain population. I think that as citizens, we have a duty to demonstrate.
Now that we've seen the clip, let's take a step back. Before we dig into the details, it helps to explore a broader idea behind the story. This will guide how we understand what follows. Let's talk about the power of youth in shaping a nation's future. Throughout history, young people have often led movements for fairness, democracy, and reform. Their energy challenges complacency, and their ideas push societies forward. In Madagascar, frustration turned into action as youth demanded accountability from leaders. Their struggle shows that real change often begins when ordinary citizens decide their voices matter. Why do you think young people are often the ones who lead movements for change? Young people often lead movements because they have less to lose and more to hope for. They see problems not as something to endure, but as something to fix. In Madagascar, power cuts and water shortages were the breaking point, a symbol of deeper inequality and political frustration. Students and young workers realized that staying silent meant accepting a broken system. Their courage to protest came not from anger alone, but from belief, the belief that their future could be different. The article reminds us that when young voices unite, they can challenge injustice and inspire reform. Change may not come quickly, but it begins with people who dare to demand it. Now, to understand this article better, we need to familiarize ourselves with key vocabulary. We'll go over 3 important expressions, learn their meanings, and see them in action with example sentences. Let's start with power cut. It means the shutting off or interruption of an electricity supply. In the article, protests began after repeated power cuts and water shortages. Here is an example. Frequent power cuts in the city have frustrated residents for months. Next, we have fed up. It means having no more patience for a frustrating situation. In the article, protesters said they were fed up with poor services and corruption. Here is an example. Citizens are fed up with empty promises from their leaders. Finally, let's look at civic. It means related to citizens or their duties and responsibilities in society. In the article, young people saw protesting as part of their civic duty. Here is an example. Voter participation is one of the most important civic responsibilities in a democracy. Now that we've explored the main themes and vocabulary, let's reinforce our understanding with a summary dictation exercise. Listen carefully and fill in the blanks. In October 2025, protests in Madagascar over power and water shortages grew into a nationwide movement led by young citizens demanding fairness and opportunity. The island nation, known for its natural beauty and mix of East African and Southeast Asian heritage, has long faced political instability and poverty. Many demonstrators said they were fed up with corruption and inequality. Observers see the unrest as part of a global wave of youth-led protests calling for justice, democracy, and lasting change. Let's check the answers and review what each word means. The first answer is fairness. It means justice and equality in opportunity and treatment. The second answer is heritage. It refers to cultural traditions and history passed down through generations. The third answer is instability. It means a state of uncertainty or lack of balance, often in politics or society. The fourth answer is corruption. It means dishonest or unethical behavior by people in power. The fifth answer is calling for. It means demanding or requesting something publicly and strongly. Well done, everyone! Today, we learned how Madagascar's young citizens turned frustration into a call for justice and equality. Their story shows that when people believe in their collective voice, they can challenge corruption and inspire real change. But it also raises a larger question about how democracy should work. So here's something to think about. Some say street protests are necessary for democracy, while others think change should happen through elections only. Which view do you agree with and why? I look forward to hearing your opinions next time. Until then, stay thoughtful and keep believing that your voice matters.